Welcome guys, welcome back to Easel Does It Studio. Today we're going to do something a little different. Excuse me, I have a couple paint parties coming up and I need to get a couple options for them to choose from because they wanted something different. So today we're going to do like a beach theme, and I struggle with getting like the orange and pinks in the sky. So that's what I'm going to work with today. So I'm just using like a fluffy brush, but I wet it just a little bit. I just found that I get a better blend when I do that. So I'm going to start with a little bit of blue and white because I don't want just pink in the sky. I do want to have a little bit of movement in the sky. All right, so I want that to be really light. It's a nice sunny all right. And I do need to wipe this off just a bit. It's just a bit too wet. This is one of the brushes that I had used for my paint party, and it didn't get cleaned well, so there's a couple of burr spots on it. All right, so we're going to go with that. And I'm going to go right into some magenta, because that will kind of make like a blue, a purple, just to give some different, and then I'm going to pick a little bit of white. All right, I got to get a different brush. This one's not going to cut it for me. I can't. I'm just going to open up a brand new one. A mop brush. That's what I was trying to think of. My God, my brain today. So those of you that have been following my YouTube channel, you know I haven't been feeling well. I'm finally feeling better, so yay. But I'm still kind of bleh. All right, now I went in with just a little bit of orange and white. And I like to put my colors when my colors are still wet, because you get a much better blend. Now this is the first painting video that I have done specifically for my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna probably be a little all over the place because I'm not used to talking other than on live, but I can't go live on YouTube yet because I don't have enough followers. So now I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of cadmium yellow and white, and we're gonna just kind of bring that through. Now I gotta say, this is one of the better skies that I have done in a while, considering I haven't painted in a dog's age. All right. So now I'm gonna kind of flip the colors coming down, basically doing the same technique, because now this is going to be the reflection kind of in the water. These colors will end up being probably either lighter or darker. So you got to be careful with yellows and blue because they will turn your sky green. All right, you know what? I really like that. I'm just going to leave that for the sky, and we're going to just and then I'm just going to go in with some blues for the water. And this is an 11 by 14 canvas. Just pick up a tad of that blue and white, just so we can kind of blend that into there. All right, I'm liking it. We're going to leave that. All right, so now I'm going to start with just a layer of white at the bottom here. Just because when I start going in with my blue, I don't want it to mix with the yellow. I'm going to wipe this off, and now I'm going to go in with just a blue. And then we're going to pick up some white. And I didn't even bring my sides down. I can touch that up after. All right. So now, and these, this particular painting is going to go much quicker than like a normal one that I would do. Because I'm doing it for a paint party and I want to keep it as simple as I can so that people will be able to follow along. So this one won't have all the details and everything that I would normally do in a painting, but I will be doing some paintings of those coming up. So those will be a longer video, but so right now I'm just going to go in with some burnt umber brown, and we're going to start making our landmass. And I kind of want this coming like down. And you'll see why here in a minute. All right, and then I'm going to pick up some white, and we're going to start lightening up that sand. And that's the biggest thing that I find when I'm doing my paint classes, is everybody is like so afraid to blend their colors over the wet colors. They either put way too much paint or not enough. All right, so now I'm going in with some dark because you want variations in your sand, because sand is not all the same color. And you want underneath a little bit darker, because this is going to be kind of like shadowed from the grass that I'm going to put in. So I want to have some darks down in here. And I'm going to switch brushes here in just a moment. I just like to use this brush to get my base in because I feel like it blends much better. All right. So I'm going to wash this brush, dry it, and we're going to switch brushes. All right, so let me see here. What do we have? And can't use that one. It's not clean. I've got to go through all my brushes and clean them here pretty soon. All right. So I'm going to put some highlights in my sand. I'm going to mix a little bit of the orange and white to kind of bring in that sky color a little bit. I'm thinking I'm going to add a sun, but try some straight orange here. Oh yeah, much better. And I'll pick up some of the magenta and kind of blend that in as well. Just so we have that little tiny bit of reflection from the sky. And probably do a little bit on the top here. Although here you might not see it because there's going to be some grass, but just in case, I just want to have some little resemblance of that sky color coming through. And it would definitely be more at that top level, so. And I'll just go in with a hint of that magenta. And I'm just using very little paint. All right. And I'm going to get a angled brush, just an angled, and I'm just going to go in with the dark blue and really make that way out look, where it's going to be really dark. And then just with whatever's left in my brush, when you're doing water, you want to keep your lines as straight as humanly possible, so that your water looks like it's not going to fall off your canvas. All right. And I'm just going to pick up, with that blue in my brush, I'm not washing it, I'm just picking up some white paint, and I'm going to kind of start where we're going to have some foam coming in. All right. I'm just slowly adding white. And I'm barely touching this canvas. I'm just letting the tip. All right, so I'll let that dry. And let me get a little bit of black out. And I'm going to get a smaller brush. And I am going to make my fence. All right. So I'm putting black on one side of my brush and brown on the other side. And you know what? That brush is going to be too wide. I'm going to go in with a liner brush to start, and then I will make them thicker. All right, so and the ones closest to the water are going to be smaller, and they're going to get bigger as they come back. So I'm just putting both colors on my brush. And let's see. And they don't have to be perfectly straight because it is just a rickety fence at the beach. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. All right. And then once I get it in there, then I can go in and thicken these up. All right. Now, so that just gave me my starting point of where I want my fence post. because I try to keep my paint parties to be no more than 2 hours. I kind of feel at the 2-hour mark, everybody is getting frustrated at that point. So, and at this point, I mean, you can take your time, you know, you can make them whatever shape you want. I'm not worrying about them being too straight, because I'm thinking, you know, they're at the beach, they're probably weathered and the salt's decaying them. And where it meets the ground, it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to put some dark around there. And so it has that shadow in the water, I mean in the sand. You know, and some can be wider than the others. It's just kind of making it your own. And then we'll put some highlights. I'm just going to thin my paint down just a little, and that will help make it flow a little bit easier. And then I'll go back in and I will put the post back on this side of so that the boards will be on the back side. All right. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. And I'm going to go in with some grass. And I'm just using deep green permanent. All right, so let's see. I'm just using the tip of my brush. And you want your grass kind of going in all directions. And we're going to go in and add some highlights and stuff on this too, but just bring some of that. Once that dries, then we can go back in, we can add some more grass in there. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. And by bringing these pieces of grass up, it helps push that ocean kind of back. So you want this first layer to be a little bit thicker down towards the bottom of the canvas, just so that it, you know, it shows that there's a amount of grass or something. All right, so now I'm going to go in with some yellow. And we're just going to start adding some lighter pieces in through there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white in my yellow and green mixture just to give a few little highlights. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit so the sun looks like it's kind of kissing the ends of those, blowing in the breeze. Go back in with the yellow. And you can put some where there wasn't any. It just adds to the dimension of your painting. So if any of you guys try this, share it on my Facebook page. And then we'll add a little bit of white and just and then as it dries, it's going to dry a little bit darker because that's what acrylic paints do. All right, so I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to start like lightening up this walkway. So I'm going to take my white and brown and make like a lighter sand color. And if it's too light, you just pick up some of your darker brown and blend it in. It's just paint, guys. And I hear that a lot in my painting classes. Oh no, I ruined it. It's too light. I'm like, no, guys, you didn't. No, it's paint. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of white and yellow. Just where that the sun would be kind of hitting the edges of the sand, you know, as it's coming down this hill. All right, so I'm going to go back in with my liner brush, and we're going to start highlighting. Actually, let me just redo my fence post. Let's see if I can do it with this brush. When you're putting a highlight, it doesn't have to like cover the whole board, because obviously, you know, the sun would only be hitting certain pieces of it. Just pop in a little tiny light on the top part of the boards. And now I'm going to take some brown and white, but not real light, just kind of a shade lighter. And I am just going to add a few like wheatgrass. And then we're going to lighten them up after. And let's see, we'll put one here. And I'm just making like little tiny taps. And then just an indication of there's a stem there or something. And let's put one here. All right. And now I will go in with a little bit of white. And we'll just pop that right into that wet paint. Still leave some of the dark. Now you could have even made these like purple and made them be like little flowers. Now I didn't like how that was, it just looked too white. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it to be more of like a creamy color. So I just mixed a little bit of the brown back in, and we'll just redo them. And then I'm just going to go over with some more grass. So that will put those stems behind. All right. And we're just going to add a little bit of yellow. Just kind of having that sun hit it. And I'm going to take a little yellow and a little white, just to add a little sun-kissed on the tops of these fence posts. Because I'm thinking that the sun would definitely be hitting the tops of these a little bit more. And it doesn't need to be a solid line. Add a little water to that just to... Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the black and the brown just to really make a nice shadow on this side. All right. So let me go in and do, I'm going to actually take some of my green and some of my yellow and some white and some orange, and I'm going to mix that all up just to give me another shade of green. So, and you can go as crazy as you want with your grasses. And I'm just gonna add a few more dark. So what you want is a good variation of different colors so that it's just not all the same. And then that's when we're going to start putting some over. So I added a little bit more orange so that the orange would show up. And it doesn't have to be a lot, just the more different variations of colors that you can add will really make your painting stand out. Yeah. So let's see, that took about an hour. So that is one of the first options that they will have. And let me see, what color am I going to sign this with? All right, let's do a light blue. So, and when you sign your painting, you'll always water down your paint and make it really thin, like ink consistency, so you'll get a better flow of paint. So I signed it MCD, first initials of my last name, and then on the back I sign it. But I'm going to add a few birds in this painting. All right, so we're just going to take some black. And they're basically like M's or a V. I mean, if you want, you can put like a little body underneath. Like that. I don't usually, I just make like little V's. just adds a little extra something into your painting. I don't know what happened with this one. And since that one is so big, we're going to I'm going to turn this one into kind of like a seagull. And if you don't like it, and you'll see here, just take water. And wipe it off. But don't do that. I couldn't just leave things well enough alone. No, no, no. I gotta freaking play. All right. Yeah. All right. And we are going to call this one done. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And there will be all kinds of different paintings. Some will be oil, but some will be resin. It's all a whole bunch of different things. So thanks for joining me. And those of you that are new and subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And have a blessed day, guys.